Hello, everyone. It's great to be with you here in Henrietta. I once dated a girl named Henrietta. She was from Henrietta. Our date took place in Henrietta. At Henrietta's. Her parents were gone. I'm sorry. I brought Henrietta here. She's here. No, Henrietta, like every other woman, did not go on a second date with me. Didn't like my humor. But it is great to be here. I want to start with some acknowledgments. Rochester Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Bob Duffy. Assemblyman Mark Johns. Assemblyman Peter Lawrence. Monroe County Executive Cheryl Donalfo. And eHealth Technologies CEO and President Ken Rosenthal. We're here in Henrietta to celebrate good things. There's a lot of growth happening here at eHealth Technologies and in Henrietta. Let me tell you a little bit about this company, those few of you apparently who don't know Ken or don't know the company. It's an industry-leading provider of clinically informed referral services, which is vitally important to both physicians and to patients. It's exactly the kind of rapidly growing technology company we try to foster here in the Finger Lakes. And this company has a positive ripple effect throughout the community. And let me give you just one example. eHealth Technologies has a partnership with ARC of Monroe, which works to create opportunities for developmentally challenged. ARC operates the bistro here at eHealth Technologies. How many of you use the bistro here at eHealth Technologies? The bistro is considered a community pre-vocational program, which is the final step before a person being trained by ARC heads out to supported employment in the community as part of a program called the Job Path Program. I want to thank Governor Cuomo. Before I introduce Ken, I want to thank Governor Cuomo for his extraordinary support of upstate and his extraordinary support of the Finger Lakes. Whether you're talking about downtown revitalization or you're talking about enhancements to your key infrastructure like airports, or you're talking about innovation, and this company is a perfect example of innovation and technology innovation. When you think about the Finger Lakes, you all lead upstate New York in innovation. You lead in engineering degrees and data science and startup businesses and patents, and you lead in venture capital. Innovation is the lifeblood of an economy, and you do a great job in the Finger Lakes with the assets you have, most importantly, the people at leading in innovation. And this company, eHealth Technologies, is the perfect example. But I want to say, before I introduce Ken, as somebody who has worked for 6 years with the governor, our ability to support businesses like this, our ability to implement a strategic plan wouldn't happen without a governor who eschewed the former Albany-centric model and had the confidence in all of you and in this region to put your own plan together. That's why we're here. And it is now my pleasure to turn the podium over to Ken Rosenthal, CEO and President of eHealth Technologies.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Oh, here we go. I need a step. You got used to this. Thanks so much, Howard. I appreciate your comments, and it's great to have you here, Governor Cuomo. This is an exciting day for eHealth Technologies. At eHealth, we are proud to have started our company right here in Rochester back in 2006. There were 4 of us back then in a small office in downtown Rochester, and now we have an amazing team of 225 people and continuing to grow that are really the core of the success of eHealth Technologies. I'm thrilled to have most of them here with us today, and it is really their success story that we can share right now. Some of the people here in the audience are fairly new to us and have really contributed to our recent growth. And some of them have been with us for a long time, and it's really, we've become to depend on their expertise and their experience to help us grow. We're also very thrilled about our partnership with the ARC. Thank you for mentioning that, Howard. The folks of the ARC are truly family to us, and it brightens our day every day when we get to work right alongside with the people that are being trained by the ARC. While eHealth has grown since its inception, our growth has accelerated over the last couple of years as top influential healthcare institutions from around the country have launched or expanded our services. As Howard had mentioned, we provide digital services that deliver medical records and images that are needed by clinicians when patients are referred to them for advanced care, like cancer or cardiovascular disease. Our services help ensure those patients are seen faster, that we can increase efficiencies for hospitals, and that we can intelligently deliver the information that clinicians need to be able to care for their patients, all resulting in better patient care. A recent study done by a premier customer of ours in the Midwest showed that they were able to shorten the time to surgery for oncology patients by over a week by using our services. These are truly meaningful results to us, and our whole team is heartened by the personal stories of how patients are positively impacted by what we do every day. We also provide automated access to medical images like X-rays and MRIs through health information exchanges, also known as HIEs. HIEs connect all the information about patients from healthcare institutions and providers from around a geographical region. New York State has been the leader in the country in supporting HIE, which has been proven to improve patient care and lower healthcare costs. We worked with and launched our imaging capabilities with the Rochester Regional Health Information Organization. Some of you know them as the RIO, back in 2009. And we are now spreading our image sharing capabilities throughout New York State based upon what we started right here in Rochester and with the support of the New York eHealth Collaborative. In addition, we're working with other states around the country to do the same thing. Our services require advanced software and technology and great people to interact with our healthcare institutions and patients around the country. We could not be where we are today without the talented team that we have here in the Finger Lakes. The region is truly emerging as a leader in technology and innovation with a deep talent pool and world-class research institutions that help companies like ours grow. Here at eHealth, we're extremely grateful for the support that New York State has provided at every step of the way. Governor Cuomo, Commissioner Zemsky, and the Economic State Development Corporation were instrumental in helping us expand here in our hometown. Under Governor Cuomo's leadership, New York State is dedicated to attracting businesses to upstate New York and ensuring New York remains a leader in innovative technologies like ours in healthcare technology. I've seen a cohort of healthcare technology companies grow right here in the Rochester region, and I'm thrilled to see this important industry sector thrive here in upstate. These efforts are creating jobs and spurring new economic activity. So I want to thank Governor Cuomo and ESD, as well as our partners across the region. I mean, we work with CONAR, who's helped us with this great building here. They've been fabulous to work with. And we really look forward to continuing work with all of you towards a more prosperous future for upstate New York. It is now my true pleasure and honor to introduce the 56th governor of the state of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be in Henrietta. What a beautiful day and what great news. First, to our esteemed guests who are here, let's give them a round of applause. Bob Duffy and County Executive Cheryl Donalfo and Mark Johns and Peter Lawrence. It's a pleasure to be with Mr. Howard Zemsky again today. He had a bad day on Sunday, Howard, so his energy is a little down low. Sunday we had the what's called the Adirondack Challenge. I'm sure you all have heard of it. It's a major sporting event in the Adirondacks where we get people from all across the state and we go up to the Adirondacks, and it's basically to promote the Adirondacks and the tourism and what we have there. But one of the events is a whitewater rafting event. It is the premier event. People register years in advance to join this whitewater rafting event. Howard headed the Western New York raft. There were 25 rafts in the competition. Howard came in number 25 of 25 rafts. His explanation is that he was short a number of people, which is true. 2 people jumped out of his raft, but they jumped out of his raft before he started going down the river, which is more a personal reflection on you, Howard, than the fear of the water. I think it says something about the management style. But he's no good in a raft, and he's no good on the river. But he is one heck of an economic development mind, and he's doing a great job. Let's give him a round of applause. To Ken Rosenthal, congratulations. And to all the employees here, congratulations. This is the American success story. It's what you dream about. It's what you hope for. It's watching a business grow, and it's watching a business grow that does good things for people. It's not overly dramatic to say what you do can actually save lives, and that is a beautiful thing. This is right in the sweet spot, I think, of where we have to grow as a state and a nation and as a private sector. Healthcare is the issue. The costs are growing exponentially. There's a potential to improve results like nothing else. This nation is still trying to come to grips with what is the new healthcare system of tomorrow. But certainly, bringing technology to healthcare is way overdue. Healthcare is one of the 2 largest pieces of the state's budget. Improving outcomes, using technology, using data to drive the medical response is exactly the right direction. So you are at the tip of the arrow. You're doing God's work. You're also in a great business. You're also in a great economy. And you are growing and you are doing well. So congratulations to all of you. Now, from our point of view, there's a sign that you have out front that says it all, that says eHealth Technologies now hiring. It's a little sign, only that big. It's on your lawn. But that lawn sign says everything that you need to know. Because for too many years in upstate New York, that sign wasn't there. For too many years, we had businesses leaving upstate New York. We had young people leaving upstate New York. There was a virtual exit sign on upstate New York. Because upstate New York did not keep up with the changing economy. Upstate New York was about manufacturing. And those great manufacturing giants died, Kodak, Bausch & Lomb, they died, Steel in Buffalo. And the economy was never retrofitted to the economy of today and tomorrow. And that was, in many ways, a fault of the state that didn't engage early enough. But we changed that, and we took on a very different approach as a state government vis-a-vis businesses, especially in upstate New York. And it was a top-down and it was a bottom-up. Top-down, we said, we have to be more pro-business, and we have to reduce the cost of doing business in New York. You can't keep raising taxes. People are mobile, businesses are mobile, they will leave. And we did that. Now, how do you reduce taxes? It's very simple. You reduce government spending. If you spend less, you tax less. The formula is simple. It's hard to execute, but the formula is very simple. Here's the other formula. If you take in less calories, you will lose weight. It's a very simple formula. It is hard in implementation, but the formula is simple. We got into state government. Bob Duffy was the first lieutenant governor, and he was 100% aware of the plight of Rochester and upstate New York. And we reduced government spending. How low did we reduce government spending? To the lowest year-to-year increases since they've been keeping numbers. Our budget only went up 2% year-to-year. It's done that for 7 years, spending less than the state of New York has ever spent before. What did that do? That then allowed us to cut taxes. Every New Yorker at every rate pays a lower tax rate today than they did 7 years ago. From the highest to the lowest rate, every rate is down. The middle class up to 350, which is a sort of large definition of middle class. Lowest tax rate since 1947. There's no adjustment, just in absolute numbers. Lowest corporate tax rate since 1968. Lowest manufacturing tax rate since 1917, okay? So on the state level, we cut spending, we cut taxes, and we developed a pro-business mentality, which means what? Which means to attract businesses, keep businesses, it's a competition. You have to work at it every day, because other states now are literally competing for your businesses. And that started our bottom-up strategy, which is how does government work with the business community? Well, first of all, I can tell you what we don't do. Government doesn't know how to develop business plans. Only the business sector knows how to do that. And it's not for bureaucrats in Albany to tell the Finger Lakes how to grow the economy in the Finger Lakes. Get the businessmen in the Finger Lakes, the business women in the Finger Lakes, put them around the table, tell them develop a plan, and you tell us how to help. And let the state government basically be an investment banker to grow those businesses in the Finger Lakes. And Ken is exactly right. The Finger Lakes, Rochester area, should have been Silicon Valley before Silicon Valley. It should have been. Why? Because Rochester was Silicon Valley before Silicon Valley. Kodak, Bausch & Lomb, all those engineering degrees, RIT, that's what Rochester was. That intellectual capital, that engineering capital, that academic capital. They were doing commercialization of academic advancements before anybody called it commercialization. That's what made Rochester, Rochester. So am I surprised when Ken says, well, you know, there's a great wealth of talent here, and the labor pool is extraordinary? Yes, because that's what Rochester was always about. And that's what Rochester will be about in the future. Photonics, which is a big area that Rochester's investing in, Finger Lakes is investing in. What is photonics? It's what we did with Kodak 50 years ago. It's just the next generation. The new technology, it's just the next generation of what we did here in Rochester. So really, we're just advancing the asset and the technology and the expertise that made Rochester Rochester in the first place. And it's working extraordinarily well, because there is nothing like new job development, new business growth, new opportunity, more hope for families, a stronger economic base for the local community. The arrows are pointed in the right direction. State just hit the all-time high number for private sector jobs existing in the state of New York, 8 million private sector jobs. A few years ago when we started, the unemployment rate was 7.7. It's now down to 4.5. So all the arrows are pointed in the right direction. Congratulations to the Rosenthals. Congratulations to each and every one of you who have made this company a success. Keep going, keep growing. Finish the space before you move in. Other than that, it is all good. Congratulations.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you again for your unwavering support and extraordinary support for the Finger Lakes and for Henrietta. Thank you all for coming and participating and for being part of this amazing company. And Ken, thank you for believing in New York, most importantly, and for investing in New York. Thank you all.